Okay, say you want to blend three images together onto one canvas and just make them one image. So the way that we do that is, let's just start with our canvas here, and this is going to be roughly about the size of a header. In this case here it's 6 inches high by about 30 inches long. And then the image that we're going to start with, I already resized these, so the height is going to be the same height as in our canvas here that we're going to be dragging these over. So they're 6 inches high as well. Let's take the first one. We're going to drag this all the way over to the left. Let's take our next one, do the same thing. We're just using our move tool, which is up on the top right here. Control V as in Victor is a shortcut. And I'm going to drag this one a little bit on top of the other layer. So once we blend that together, they're going to be close and it's going to be a nice smooth blend. Alright, let's go on to the last one. We're going to drag this one on the end here. I'm going to drag this one in to be a little closer as well. Okay, so now we have the three images that we want onto the canvas here, but as you can see it's not yet smoothed out. So let's make these into a nice blend. Well, the first thing that we want to do is make sure that your colors, that the foreground color is black and the background color is set to white. And if you just click on this, that's going to bring up your default colors. And the reason that we want to do that is because we're going to be working with layers. So let's put a layer mask onto each one of these layers. And by doing that, we're just going to click on this little icon. It's going to add a layer mask. Let's go to each one of these images and add that layer mask. Okay, let's start with the center image. If you bring your cursor onto that image and then you hit Control and then left click, it's going to select that image. So now we're on the center image. So let's click on the layer mask, and then we're going to bring up the brush tool. And just the letter B is a shortcut for the brush tool. And we can resize our brush tool by using the bracket keys. Left bracket reduces, the right bracket is going to enlarge your brush size. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to brush away the area that is blocking that image here. So we're going to be just taking our brush tool, and right now we're set at about 85%, so that's fine. So let's just slowly start brushing this away. And what this does then is just bring in a nice smooth transition, just a really nice blend, so it almost looks like it's one image, one photograph. And that looks pretty good. And if you make a mistake, if you go too far onto the next image, this is easy to fix as well. Of course, you can just go back and do a redo, or you can just hit X. It's going to change your foreground color to white, and you can just paint in the area that you made the mistake on. Okay, so let's go back to being black as your foreground color. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to be going into the image on the right side, into that layer. We're going to click on the layer mask, bring up the brush tool. Actually, we're just going to be painting that line away here. Let's bring this up a little bit. So we're just painting this line away. And as you could see, we came over a little bit too far. And then that actually erased the other layer. So we're going to just paint that back in. Let's just hit X, and that's going to bring up the white as a foreground color, which is going to allow us to just paint that back in by using our brush tool. So that's one thing nice about using layers. You can never totally destroy what you're working on. You can always bring it back by just brushing in that proper layer. That's a pretty smooth blend right there. Just fine tune it a little bit more here. Okay, so that was easy enough to do. So here we have three images all blended together so it looks like it's one image. And then of course we want to fine tune that. We just didn't measure exactly how we were going to end up with the image size, so we're going to crop away the excess. So let's just crop it to about here. And then there's your image, all done. We have three images together, so it's actually one image now, as long as we flatten these. So we can actually, of course I have a shortcut or a action that I use, but you can just click on this little triangle arrow here and just hit flatten image, which is right here. So once we do that, your image is flattened, and then we can save that now. And that's how we got a really cool effect, putting three images onto one.